Hi, welcome back to Relationship Talks with Adeze Adana. How are you all doing? A very beautiful day to you all. Today, without any further delay, I'm sorry I was supposed to I was supposed to do this video last week, but I got caught up in a lot of meetings and I just couldn't do this video. But today I told myself I have to do this video today unfailingly so that I don't keep you guys so long without a video. All right, so today we're just going to talk about how to handle neglect in a relationship. Remember that I previously dealt on emotional neglect in a relationship or in your marriage, and I remember that video I titled it "Help My Spouse is Neglecting Me." If you have not seen that video, you might just want to head over to my YouTube channel to watch that video. Okay, there I talked about signs, things that can show you or things that you can watch out for to see if your relationship or your marriage is going through emotional neglect. All right, so today I want to talk about the other side when you have now discovered that your relationship is suffering emotional neglect, or you're just suffering neglect in your relationship or in your marriage. What do you do? The first thing I want to say is this: do you still want your marriage? If you still want your marriage, then this video is for you. All right, if there is no physical abuse, there is no emotional abuse, and there is no verbal abuse that is to the point that it's beginning to drive you insane or driving you to want to harm yourself, then listen, this video is for you. But if you have been suffering from physical abuse or emotional or verbal abuse that is leading you to want to harm yourself, this video, please, is not for you. You need to get help. All right, you need to get help. So this video is not for you. Now, for those of you who are who still have faith in your marriage, you want to make things work in your marriage, you want to make things work in your spouse, which is the ideal thing to do as long as there is no physical, emotional, or verbal abuse, you definitely are in the right place. How do you handle emotional neglect when you have seen it rearing its ugly head in your marriage? The first thing you want to do is to pray about it. Yes, we cannot leave God outside of an institution He created. The biggest mistake a lot of us make in marriages or in relationships is basically marriages, because God created marriage Himself. All right, so you're not gonna leave God out of an institution He created. When you're dating, fine, but when you are about to get married, you definitely want to bring the originator of marriage into the equation. You don't want to leave Him out of it. So the first thing you want to do is to pray about the situation at hand. Ask God to give you wisdom to know how to handle the steps that I am going to list out for you. Because what happens when you pray is this: God gives you wisdom, God gives you the patience, God gives you the grace and the strength, because you're going to be needing all of this, all right, to effectively implement the steps that I will be listing in a few minutes. Now, after you've prayed to God to give you wisdom, you need to also pray that God will give your husband or your wife a willing heart or, a willing mind to make your relationship work, to put into practice all that you both need to restore and rekindle the intimacy and the love in your marriage. You see why we have to start with prayers first? Because when we pray, God does something in us while He's also working on our partner. He gives us like a soft landing. Now, after you've prayed to God and asked God for His direction, what you want to do is to pick an appropriate time that you can speak to your husband or to your wife. You don't want to talk to them when they are not in the right frame of mind, because anything you say to them when they're not in the right frame of mind, it's not going to bring the results that you want. So you want to really see when he is in a relaxed mood, in a happy mood. It might not be happy towards you, but you realize that, okay, the atmosphere is right. you realize that he is in good spirits or she is in good spirits, that's when you really want to talk about it. So set aside an appropriate time. Watch out for it, okay? And be patient till you get that appropriate time. When they are in the right frame of mind, get that time. That is the time you really want to sit down with them and, bring the issues at hand, okay, to them. Now, when you have found the appropriate time to do this, sit down and discuss with your husband or with your wife. Let them know what you have observed. Let them know that, let them know the things that they are doing, okay, that is negatively impacting your relationship. And remember that when you're having this discussion with them, you need to have an open mind. You want to have an open mind when you're having this discussion with them, because be prepared. You might be hearing things you probably have not heard before. And you want them to be in a state where they can really open up to you. You don't want to go talking to your husband or to your wife with a defensive approach, or with an approach that is out to judge them. Okay, you don't want to be vindictive when you are talking to them. You don't want to come from a place of accusing them. You want to come from a place of, okay, this is wrong in our relationship. I've noticed certain things. I don't know if you have observed, that we are not as close as we used to be. We don't do things in common. I notice you don't share things with me anymore. And I just noticed that, there is a distance between both of us. I noticed that we don't spend that much time before. I noticed that we are both into ourselves, and you just want, you want his friendship back. You want her friendship back. You want both of you to be intimate. You don't come from a place of, I noticed that in this house, you no longer talk to me. You just do things on your own, and what you're doing is harming. If you go with that approach, they become defensive. They can actually shut down on you, or become aggressive, or talk you out, or walk out on you, and you're not going to get the result that you want. So remember, pick an appropriate time to have this discussion with them after you have prayed to God. Now, be patient for them to talk. When you are talking with them, make sure that you have an open mind, and you are not talking to them from a place of accusation, from a place of, vindictiveness. You don't want to go through or go with that approach. All right, you want to go from a place of understanding, from a place of patience. You want both of you to have an open and honest communication. Okay, you want him to be able to say, okay, these are the things that led me to this point. And you don't want, when he's saying those things to you, listen, some of those things might really hurt you when you find out about them, but I don't want you to focus on the hurt. Focus on, I'm trying to resolve a problem in my relationship. I'm trying to resolve a problem in my marriage. Don't focus on your hurt. Focus on what exactly your spouse is saying to you, and focus on, okay, the resolution, how you both are going to work through this situation. Because listen, I know somebody might be asking, can emotional neglect destroy a marriage? Yes, it will. There is no marriage or relationship that can thrive without emotional intimacy. So that's not something you want to be lacking in your relationship or in your marriage. Okay, so make sure you have an open and honest conversation with them. Let them express themselves, your husband or your wife. Allow them to express themselves, and make sure that you are not judging them. You're not being vindictive. You're not trying to accuse them for everything that is going wrong in the marriage or in the relationship. You are talking to them from a place of, we need to fix this, and we are going to do it together. I might be hurt. I might not be happy with the things that you're saying, but it's not just about how I feel, but it's also about what I did or how I made you feel that led you to this point. Sometimes you'll find out that your partner or your husband might be dealing with past hurts. The person might be dealing with issues at work that he's not being able to open up to you because he's afraid that you will judge him. You will discover a lot when you allow your husband or your wife to have, a soft landing, a place of comfort where they can be comfortable enough to be, vulnerable towards you, at least to the barest minimum. All right. Now, when that is done, what you want to do is to find the steps, to find ways to do what? To rekindle the relationship. You want to find ways to, to build back the relationship. You want to do activities that will help you both do what? Activities that will help you both build back your relationship. You want to spend time, probably do movies together. You want to hang out together. Find activities that you're not just the one who enjoys this activity, right? You also want to find out, what does my husband enjoy doing? What does my wife enjoy doing? Now, when you find all of these things out, what do? You try your best to do what? You come to a place of compromise. Hang out with your partner. Go on a date. Go on a movie night. Do activities that will bond both of you. All right? Go for walks. Just whatever it is that is a bonding activity for both of you. Try to do what? Try to do it. Don't just want it to be your own way. You're trying to resolve something, right? You're trying to resolve the lack of emotional intimacy between yourself and your husband. So what you want to do is to do what? To make yourself available for activities that both of you will enjoy. And you'll see that in no distant time, as long as you are patient, okay, things will start warming up. Okay, your spouse will start opening up gradually back to you. And another thing I must mention, you need to be patient. Remember that it has taken your spouse a while to get to this point. You are not going to be able to resolve everything in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in a month. Everybody has the way they recover, right? Their time span for recovery. So you want to be patient. You want to be patient and be consistent. Not that, okay, you are trying to make things work, and because in a month the person has not shown, like, let's say 80% improvement, then you just do what? You just go back again and say, you know what, it's not worth it. Listen, you're just going to be starting the whole cycle all over again. So you want to be patient. Okay, another thing you can do, if both of you have done all of this and it's still not working, you might want to see a marriage counselor. You might want to see a therapist. You might want to see your pastor, somebody you both respect. Okay, somebody you both respect and you both feel like you can be able to open up to that person. All right, you might want to speak to a marriage counselor, speak to a therapist, speak to your pastor. At least that is like a middle ground where both of you can, come to, where, nobody's at each other's throat. Both of you can be able to do what? Both of you can be able to express your mind adequately. All right. Now, if you've done all of these things and things are still not working, both of you need to sit down and really ask yourselves if you really want the relationship. If both of you still want this relationship to work, then you have to go back to step number 1. And really put in the work. It might take a while for both of you, but as long as you both put in the work and you are consistent and prayerfully doing all of these things, your relationship will bounce back. And once it bounces back, please do not do things that will lead you guys back to where you came out from. I pray that the Lord will grant you wisdom. I pray that God will give you both the strength to go through this season of your lives in your marriage. And I pray that God will restore your marriage back. All right. Please do not be impatient with the process. Everything in life has to go through a process. Your healing has to go through a process. The restoration of your marriage has to go through a process. Please, you both, be patient with each other. Remember, teamwork is what actually makes marriage work. God bless you all. Till I see you all another time on another episode of Relationship Talks with our Daisy Adana. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, and stay thriving in your marriages. God bless you all.